beautiful. So for today's video we are finally doing a makeup video. It's been so long. I've been putting it off because I'm not in my normal setup. I'm still not in my normal setup, but I managed to get my hands on this e.l.f. palette ahead of the release. So because I got my hands on it early, I couldn't resist. I had to get this up as soon as possible so that I can share it, and then when it does release, you know, you can sort of know in advance whether it's worth it or not. So this is what it looks like. I've created a look today with it, which I'll insert in a moment. But prior to that, let's just do some swatches and let's see how the shades perform. Okay, so that is the first two rows. As you can see, some of the shades are not the best. So this shade here is the sort of iridescent blue, sort of purpley shade. I struggled with it on my eye and it really doesn't swatch well. It's more of a topper, which is absolutely fine, but as I say, it doesn't swatch that well on bare skin, or at least on my skin tone, because I'm quite pale. Maybe on somebody with a darker skin tone it would show up better. But as you can see, all the other shimmers are absolutely gorgeous. They reflect light beautifully and the mattes are pretty good. I don't think I had any problems with any of those mattes being swatched, so that's always good. I'm not personally that bothered about mattes, but I know a lot of people love a matte, and if that's what you're judging your palettes by, they seem pretty good from the swatches. I didn't use that many mattes on my eyes, so can't really judge on that front, but from a swatch they look pretty good. So we have the next two rows. They're really not screaming e.l.f. to me, to be honest, this colour story, but I like the colour story. There was a couple of issues, one of them being the third shade, which is beautiful, but it's just not what it says on the tin. So this to me is what I've got on my eyes. It looks very pink, it looks very fuchsia, but in the pan, I don't think I'm going to get it to show up. It looks quite pink in the pan. When I look at it with my eyeballs, it looks like a pinky purple, but like quite a deep purple with a bit of pink in. But obviously it's not showing up that way on my viewfinder, and on the arm it is like fuchsia, which is just not the colour it is in the pan, which is so bizarre. The other issue I found was this shade here. I sort of like rubbed my finger in it like I did with all the other shimmers, because that seems to be the best way to get enough pigment off. The whole pan kind of lifted out, so I've shoved it back in, but it's just quite a, I don't know how to describe it. It's quite doughy. Yeah, it's a very strange formula compared to the others. It's very sort of, all I can describe it as is like putty or like dough. It's very odd. So yeah, watch out for that shade. You'll probably be able to see like the mess I've made of it, and that's just from a swatch. And then let's do the last row. This green is beautiful. I wish I'd used that colour now. The khaki green is stunning. This gold's a weird formula too, but it swatches well, and that's all that matters. So that's your final row. Not the most interesting of rows, but I love that green. So yeah. So overall, the swatches weren't too bad. Yeah, I'm quite impressed. There's a few issues with a couple of the pans, in my opinion. But yeah, I will now insert a clip of me creating this look, and then you'll get the full verdict. Okay, so let's give this a test. I think, to be honest with you, I'm going to start off with just a sort of like plain transition shade. So we'll start with this one here. They don't have any names, which is quite annoying. And can you see how small the pans are? That's like my index finger, and I don't have the biggest fingernails. So yeah, they're not the most largest of shadows. This is it next to my face. I was expecting this palette to be a lot bigger for the price, but we don't know how it performs yet, so let's just wait and see. Let's just reserve judgment just yet. So I'm just going to sweep this transition shade over my crease. It's just so that hopefully we'll get a better blend. It's not really going to show up much because it's not that much different to my skin. I think, to be honest with you, because I am a shimmer addict, we're just going to bang a load of shimmers on, I think. I really want to use all of them though, so it's really difficult. There's quite a lot in here, quite a lot of shimmers. I think for the inner corner we're going to have to go for the super sparkly one, this one here, because it is just beautiful, like purpley, bluey, like duochrome. So yeah, we're going to bang that just with a flat brush. No, we're not, because the brush is not picking up the shadow. The shadow is just not happening right now. Right, we'll try it with the finger. Okay, it works with the finger. The only thing I dislike about using a finger for eyeshadow is the control's just not there. So let's see if I can do the edges with a brush. I mean, that's pretty, but it's kind of see-through. It's kind of almost like a topper. So I have a feeling that this is not going to work how I wanted it to. So what we're going to do is we're going to change, and instead of doing what I was going to do, I think we'll use that either under the eye or as a topper at the end. So already off to a difficult start. What's this white like? Ah, okay, so the white is a much better consistency. So I think what I'm going to do is, this is like a true shimmer, this one. So we're going to go in with this one as a sort of like base coat, and then we'll go over it with the one that I've just used, because it's just not opaque enough and you can sort of see your skin through. It's not ideal. I know I've put the white on top of the other, but you can still see it through. Actually, it's quite pretty. So I'm just going to do sort of an inner third of my eye with this colour, and I am taking it quite high, like past my eyelid, just because I want to give the illusion of bigger lids. I'm almost doing like a cut crease shape with it, but we're not cutting anything, we're literally just laying down colour. Again, this white isn't massive. It is a beautiful shimmer, but it isn't massively covering. It's more like a sparkle over the top of your natural eye. So yeah, so far, I mean, I have gone for the lightest shades. I'm not thinking this is anything groundbreaking, but we will see. And it is a cute design and everything, so you've got to give it credit for that. We're going to try the finger again because, yeah, oh, that's better. Although fingers tend to make shades deeper, they aren't great at precision, so I like to use a mix. And I prefer it if it does work without the finger, to be honest, but we have to do what we have to do. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try some Fix Plus. This is just similar to a setting spray. It's not quite the same thing, but yeah, we'll use that. But you could use a setting spray if you needed, and see. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. I think, to be honest, I've been using a lot of high-end palettes lately, and I've been spoilt, so I've forgotten all the tricks of you know what you need to do when shadows on playing ball and things like that, so I forgot about the whole wetting situation. But yeah, that is making a massive difference. So the next shade we're going to do is we're going to go over with this the shade we tried earlier and see if it actually shows up on top. I might just do this with my finger. It is giving something. It is different to the other eye, but it's just not anything spectacular. It's really, I'm really struggling to get it off with my finger, to be honest. It's sort of like a hard... I'm going to just scrape some and see if that helps. It's probably going to be too chunky now. So that's worked quite a lot better, but it has gone a bit, because I've like literally shoved like half an eyeshadow pan on my eyelid, it's got a bit chunky. But I just really, without scraping it, I really couldn't get any payoff. It is more of a creamy formula, so I'm probably using it wrong. So I think next we're going to go in with this on the second row in the middle. It's like a, I'd say a light purple slash dirty pink. Like a dirty pinky purple. Again, it's a shimmer. And we're just going to put that in the centre. Oh, I like that shade. It looks nice mixed with the prior shade as well. That is pretty. So the second, third I've just done with that shade. And then do we go really dark or do we go medium? Right, we'll try medium, and then if it needs it I'm going to go darker. So we'll try this one here. And what I might do, because this is going to be quite a sort of non-elf coloured look, what I might do is I might do a different coloured under eye. We will see, we will see. This is probably not going to be the most inspired look of the century, because I am just doing this like dead quick. I just want to see what the shades are like, what the formulas are like, etc. And at the minute I'm not bothered about blending. I am literally laying these shades down. I always find shimmers are easy to blend together anyway, because they are so soft. So yeah, we'll do that in a sec. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lightly blend these together. So I'm going in with the shades that are next to the other shades and just going swiping over the top just to get a bit of a blend. I will use a blending brush because that will help. Generally speaking, the way I do it is I'll go in with one shade, then I'll go in with the other. So the two shades that are touching, I'll go in with both of those. Keep going in with them until you can't see a seam. And it's what I call lazy blending, because it's not obviously the best way to blend, but I find it works really well with shimmers, because shimmers blend that easy. And just because I'm trying to be quick here, and why not? Why would I take longer than I need for an eye look? So yeah, that's why I personally do it that way. And then obviously because we did the shimmers last, I just need to blend out the edges. And for that I'm just going to use that same shade that I used again, so this sort of skin toned one. If you've got a darker skin tone, there's one a bit darker down here as well, which is really handy to have two shades, so it is efficient for more skin types. That is the one thing that a lot of palettes are lacking, is sufficient blending out shades for when you just want something skin toned. I mean, you don't have to blend out with skin tone shades, but sometimes less is more, and that's what you want to do, because you don't want to add any extra dimension to the look with your blending. Okay, so now I'm going to do my under eye, and for that I'm going to firstly go in with this white and just literally do the very inner corner up to just where my lashes start, to be honest. Just that real inner corner. And now I'm trying to decide what colour to go with it, because I want to do something a bit different and not just have it pink to match the top. So we're going to go in with this turquoise shimmer, which is this one here, and I'm just going to sweep that under my eye, starting from where we left off with the white. I'd highly recommend doing your eyes first when using the shimmers in this palette, because they are so sparkly. The fallout is just a lot. For some reason I have like pulled this right up. I don't know whether I want to pull it up higher. I'm trying to decide if this is artistic or a mess. I'm really not sure. Sometimes I have what I think are bright ideas and then in practice they look ridiculous, so we will see. And then I'm just going to blend the edge of this blue into this pink so it's not a harsh line. So now I think we're going to do liner and lashes, and then once we've got that done we can sort of see if it needs anything else and we can add that later. So I'm back, and what a difference a pair of lashes and a bit of eyeliner can make. I'm much happier with this look now. Excuse the fact that the lashes are jumping off my face. They're a bit old ones and I couldn't be bothered taking the glue off, so I was hoping for the best, but they just don't want to stay on. I also pooped myself in the eyes. If my eyes start streaming, that is why. Because for some reason I went with a pair of tweezers right in my eyeball. So yeah, that wasn't the most pleasant, but luckily there's no hole in my eyeball, so we'll probably be okay. But yeah, if I'm snuffling, that's why. It's all a eye-watering situation. What do I think of this palette before I digress to death and bore you to death? Personally, and I always am extremely honest with my reviews, it's okay, it's cute, like the design is gorgeous, I love the packaging. I mean, I love the movie Elf, but I'm not like the biggest fan, if that makes sense, as in I watch it every year, but I'm not like dying to get the merch. Like Friends, I love. I have several cups of theirs. I have all kinds of different things of Friends. Elf, not so much. I've got the movie on DVD, or it's my husband's, but we've got the movie on DVD. I'm not really interested in any of the merch or even like the Christmas jumpers and things. It doesn't really float my boat. So, although it's cute packaging, I do love the packaging. I would say that I've bought this because I was sucked in by the pretty packaging rather than it being Elf, if that makes sense. And I was sucked in because I thought this was going to be bigger, because it looked, I mean, there's no basis of comparison on the website. I just presumed, because it was 5 across and 5 down, that these pans would be bigger and the palette would be bigger, but it's really not that big. And I mean, I've used this palette once and I've already dug into quite a few shades quite a lot, so it's not going to last for ages, this palette. And it was £15, which the reason it's more expensive than normal Revolution is because obviously they have to pay, I don't know, who made Elf? Warner Brothers, so they have to like give Warner Brothers a cut of the money, so they can't do it as cheap as they would normally, because there's extra, this lash, an extra stakeholder, so you can expect it to be more. But would they have been just as well making like a candy cane? They could have done this exactly the same without the elf part. They could just make like a Christmassy candy cane and still have the same sort of genre without stepping on any toes. I mean, this palette doesn't scream Elf to me either, the colourway. I do like this cute bit here. This is cute with the mirror. But yeah, overall, if this was like a £5, I mean, no, that's cheap. That's me being mean. I'd say probably if this was like £8 to £10, then I would say it's definitely worth it. At 15, It's a little bit steep for me for the quality, for the size of the pans and the formula. I would say it's a very bog standard I Heart Revolution formula. It's nothing groundbreaking. It's no sort of Revolution Pro. So on that front, I would say it's probably a little bit too expensive in my opinion. However, if you're a massive fan of ELF, that puts you in a different ballpark to me. So because I'm a massive Friends fan, if this was Friends, I'd probably want to pay the £15. But because this is ELF and I'm not a massive fan, I think it's a bit too steep. But yeah, overall it's all right. It's not the best quality in the world. I've had a couple of problems with a couple of shades, but my look in the end turned out okay. So yeah, I'd say pretty average. And if ELF is something that you're into, it's definitely worth a pick up. If it's not, then personally I wouldn't bother. But yeah, I hope you did find this review useful. I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, smash a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit subscribe. As I said at the start of the video, I am nearing 4,000 subscribers. At that point, I will be doing a giveaway. It's going to be a huge giveaway. I've got lots of Revolution. I can't even remember. I've got piles of stuff for this giveaway. There'll be, I think, 3 prizes depending on what I decide. I just don't know how many prizes to give to each person because there is going to be bundles. But yeah, I've got loads and loads to include. Christmas gift sets and all sorts. So yeah, if you do want to be in a chance of winning that, make sure you hit subscribe so that you can see when I post that video, which will be when I hit 4,000 subscribers. Thanks for watching. Bye.